Let's now go on with our e-tutorial. At this step, we can switch to the part concerning materials. What we are interested in now is giving the surfaces of the object a look that is more similar to the one that will be in reality. If we display the rendering structure from the Rendering tab, we notice we also access the materials composing our object. For armrests, frame, and seat, different materials have been set, each of which can be modified to have a more realistic look. First of all, let's set High Quality Materials Rendering Mode. We zoom in over a part of the frame and rotate it. Now, let's modify the material of the frame, currently set to metal with diffuse reflectivity, into a chromium-plated metal with a mirror reflection. So, edit on the frame, and from Visual Properties, we switch Reflectance from metal to mirror. We already perceive the changing. The material simulates the mirroring. We obtain a more realistic effect for this material. Now, let's think about the seat material, and let's change it. This time, we apply Edit on the seat, and we use another particularity available in the material settings. The texture color, instead of plain, we can set it to a wrapped image, an image applied on the surface. Clicking on File Name, the Select File dialog box is displayed, from which we select the Grain to image, simulating the grain of the wood, and we applied it to our object. We can see the effect by rotating the chair. We can reduce the scale of the texture mapping by clicking on Texture Mapping UV. We set same scale and reduce it from 1 to 0.8, and shrink the scale and repeat the image on the surface. When we get the desired effect, we confirm. After applying a texture on the object surface, we can see how to apply further effects. So we use the armrests to apply this time a texturized color, that is, an image mapped on the surfaces, but with a filter on color. In this case, we select an image simulating leather, named Leather G. Clicking on Filter Color, we set a dark gray and confirm. As we can see by enlarging the area, the image is wrapped on the object. And here as well, we modify the scale selecting Texture Mapping UV. We set the scale to 1.5 on S and 0.5 on T to better respect the geometry of the object. We zoom in once more, and when we get the desired effect, we confirm apply the changings. Now let's create a setting for the chair by the Format Environment command, from where we can define an environment. The default setting provides a background nuanced image. Keeping the environment set to background image, we can upload a different image. Room, simulating a setting of a room, even with floor and wall. It's a static image, on the background of which our chair can be moved and rotated. In a way, it's a postcard of any sort that we can load. We zoom out, and now we are going to place the chair inside this environment, simulating the setting. From the Environment command, we can also set the reflection, turning it on and off. We can notice that some reflections appear on the object surface. We can select the different types of reflection. For instance, we choose the background as the object which is reflected on the chair. The reflected image can be controlled by intensity. If we exaggerate, the chair will become a mirror reflecting the background from all its faces, as we can see by viewing the object from different views. In our case, we can settle for a value of 22, so that our object placed in the room and properly positioned gives the idea of an actual scene. Then, the environment we created can be saved in a library by the Save button and reused for other objects. We save in a folder of our choice, or choose the one proposed by default under User-Defined. We call it Room, save it, and close the command. Where has our saved environment got to? Let's now open the rendering library and let's widen it. Our saved environment is in the Environment tab in User-Defined, Import. Here is our room. If we reset our environment by Reset to Default from the Rendering tab, we can see we are back to the original environment. From Options, Properties, Document Properties, Ground, we deselect Shadow and confirm. Anytime, we can apply again the room image by double-clicking it or choosing Set as Current, and our room has returned to its place. We can edit the environment also by its icon in the rendering structure. Let's switch Reflection to Sphere. And let's click now on Open Preview to see the preview of the sphere background. We double-click the surface that is shown. From the dialog box displayed, we can upload the images and we load the reflection of steel type. We close the preview, and this is the effect we obtain on our object without and with reflection. We can possibly increase intensity a little more to 30, then we zoom in and rotate the chair. And this is our object, also with the reflections projected over it. Another possibility provided is to define, instead of a background image, a sphere background, a cube background, or a cross-type background. As for the cube, instead of having a sphere, we'll have multiple faces around our object, on any of which we'll be able to load an image, such as the walls of the room. We rotate and switch the object to the original position. As for the sphere, we'll have an image projected over a sphere, and having a specific spherical projection, as is its case, we can load an image that will be correctly displayed around our object. Studio. We rotate our sphere with our image uploaded inside. And finally, we have a setting similar to the cube but providing a unique image including the embed faces of the cube. We mean a cross. We scroll the images. In this case, we must have the cube unbent with all faces: right, left, top, bottom, back, front. We refer to the sky image and we load it. This is a predefined object in ThinkDesign libraries. What we have got is a background moving together with our object. We can see the sky and the clouds. At this step, we set the projection of the view from the context menu, View Properties, and also adjust the focal length on the wide angle, bringing it from 70 to 28 millimeters. Of course, using the sky image, our chair is set in a rather unlikely environment for the object. We can view it better by rotating it. Let's see something more interesting related to the sphere. We preloaded the image with the perspective setting. The object is actually inserted inside a room. External light coming from the window and front line are the ones projecting our shadow. We just need to place the object, confirm, and exit the command. Now we can move it and place it so that it actually seems an object laid on the floor. The chair and the scene are absolutely realistic. It's a good final result for our rendering, and we save.